So Toyota just dropped a Corolla that costs more than my entire education, has no back seats, and was tuned on the Nürburgring by a guy who legally goes by Maurizio. And this is something I think we need to talk about. So hey everybody, welcome back to Overdrew. Broke college kid obsessing over cars I can't afford. So today's victim of choice is the 2026 Toyota GRMN Corolla. So what the heck is GRMN? Obviously, we know what GR is. I mean, I've talked about it so much, but GRMN stands for Gazoo Racing Meister of Nürburgring. So it's Toyota's way of saying this already serious car is more serious. So it sits above the regular GR Corolla, which already slaps. It's got 300 horsepower and GR4 all-wheel drive. But the GRMN was further developed for the track, so it has more torque, a lot of carbon fiber parts, and the best part for me, it's only available with the 6-speed manual, no auto. So that's even better. So the numbers. It's the same 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbo, but the horsepower remains at 300, but the torque goes up from 295 pound-feet to 302 pound-feet. So you gain some torque, but you have the same amount of horsepower. And they tuned, I believe, the accelerator. So more of the torque is available lower in the rev range for even better acceleration, which is crazy because if you've ever driven a GR Corolla, you would know there is no slouch in acceleration at any point in the rev range. That car just goes. So the GRMN isn't necessarily chasing power numbers. They're not trying to push more power out of it because honestly, the motor that's in it already, being that it makes 100 horsepower per cylinder, already has its reliability concerns. You know, if you go above 85 miles an hour, your warranty gets voided. So they're not chasing power, they're chasing lap times. So it's got Torsen limited slip differentials all around, which is standard on the regular GR Corolla, but I believe the GRMN has them tuned. So now we're really getting into the crazy stuff. Toyota deleted the rear seats entirely to save weight. There are no rear seats on the GRMN Corolla. They're just gone. It's a 2-seater, and it's 66 pounds lighter than the GR Corolla, which is insane because the GR Corolla is already a relatively light for an all-wheel drive sports hatchback. So Toyota said in their own words, they're pursuing untamed energy that captivates customers. So it seems to me more like, you know, marketing business jargon for no more giving your friends rides, but whatever. So the GRMN Corolla is limited run. So each car is getting a numbered plate on the center console. I believe 888 units are what they're making, but they haven't really fully announced numbers yet. So I don't know if that's 888 units total or 888 units per market. So we don't know just yet. Now let's get into the details that you and I actually care about. You know, we like cars. So it's got forged 18-inch rims with Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. You heard that right. I'm pretty sure those tires come on the 911 GT3 RS. So it's essentially just a slick with a little bit of tread for rain wicking carved into it. I mean, they're insane tires. You'll never get more grip from anything else on the road. It also has vented hood, vented fenders, which cut weight, improve cooling. It's got a front lip, which is kind of sick. I mean, I think it looks cool. And the rear spoiler is now adjustable. Previously it wasn't, and now on the GRMN, it's adjustable. So the front seats are a little different than the regular GR Corolla, and I mean, it's a race car cosplay. What do you expect? You know, it's got micro suede, which is Toyota's cheap Alcantara clone. Personally, I like the way it feels, but it has the same problems that Alcantara does where, you know, your finger grease gets on it and all that garbage. But my favorite part is it's built in Japan at Toyota's, I'm going to butcher this, I apologize, Motomachi plant. So it's headed to North America, Japan, and Australia, which is cool. But also automakers have admitted that their vehicles that are made in American plants aren't held to the same quality standards as one made in, you know, Japanese plants. So having this be made at Toyota's Japanese plant is freaking awesome because that means it'll actually be reliable. So like you're supposed to buy one. Apparently there's a GR app. I think that's kind of stupid. But fall 2026, you kind of just got to get in line and hope. You don't really have, there's no way to gain favor to get a GRMN Corolla. I think Toyota's just going to kind of look at, you know, rich dude who's going to leave it in his garage or drive it to a golf course, or somebody who's actually going to drive it, and they'll probably go with the dude who's actually going to drive it. So, you know, I don't know pricing or specs fully. They're saying it's going to be around $65,000, which is out of this world. $65,000 for a Corolla. The GR Corolla is already just insanely expensive, but we're talking some carbon fiber, removed rear seats, and a couple extra foot-pounds of torque are going to run you 65 grand. So, you know, I think it's kind of impractical. I love Toyota Gazoo racing, don't get me wrong. GR86, dream car. My Corolla hatchback, wonderful to drive. But when you sit back and think about it, you could just buy a regular GR Corolla, which is already an insane car. I mean, sure, it doesn't have the same exclusivity, but it's the same car, essentially, underneath, and just tune it. And for 30 grand, you could tune it, full carbon aero kit, you know, some crazy coilovers, wheels and tires, and probably more. I mean, there's probably more you could do to it for 30 grand. So, personally, I don't understand the concept of paying track car money for a Corolla. But, and this is a big but here, I really do like what Toyota Gazoo Racing is doing across the board right now. Like, if you put this into perspective relative to their other models, I think what they're doing is genuinely great. Like, because remember, GR Supra is done after this year. I don't think they've manufactured those since March. The GR86 only has a few more years left, and then they're probably going to make it a hybrid with their new G20E 4-cylinder that's going in the MR2 and Celica that they're developing. So this is just showing that they're serious about building a good track car. And I'm cool with that. I like the fact that they're serious about it, but I don't think buyers are going to be $65,000 serious. So I think it's going to be like the LFA, basically. Going to have a crap ton of trouble selling it when it first comes out, and then 10 years later, everyone's going to realize how sick it is and then suddenly go buy it. But, you know, the last LFA didn't sell till 2023. So I love GR, but I'm having a lot of trouble with this. I think $64,000 for a Corolla just so you can LARP track car is kind of stupid. Honestly, you got a couple more options. Just buy a GR Corolla and upgrade it. Buy a GR86 and supercharge it. You could buy a Miata and put 30 grand into it if you're weird like that. I mean, some people will buy a Miata for 12 grand. You know, an NA for 12 grand and then put another 30 into it. It's like, I don't know. I think spending that much money on a Miata is stupid, but you know what? What do I know? I just think paying track car money for a Corolla is dumb. I think it's stupid. So let me know in the comments. GRMN Corolla, what do you think? You know, do you think it's too much? Do you think it's too little? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.